Hello, my name's Cynthia Howard. I'm the music teacher here at Huonville Primary School in Tasmania. That piece was called Tango, written by a Tasmanian music educator named Gerard Vandergeer. I've been a music teacher for 6 years, so I came into teaching later on in my life. I was always a musician, I guess, from a very early age. My parents were both musicians and my mother was a music teacher. But I did a lot of work with, I have an older sister who has an intellectual disability, and I think that brought me into the realm of welfare and justice, human justice. My sister now lives in a group home and used to live in an institution, and that course I trained in that area, and it made me a lot more aware of that everyone has the right to an equal education, that there needs to be equity in our world. I then later moved into working with youth homelessness, so young girls who did not have a place to stay from the ages of 13 to 18. And that also was a very influential time in my life. And then went into music teaching and wondered how the two areas were going to come together. Now I'm working at Huonville Primary School, where we have a large portion of the population in disadvantage, and music has been a really important part of bringing people together and hopefully building confidence and self-esteem with students where maybe they struggle to feel a sense of belonging or even good about themselves in other areas of their life. So that sort of brings me to where I am now. I've just started some postgraduate studies, which is based on global education and is consolidating all those experiences that I've had in my earlier life. Here at Huonville Primary School, we use a lot of these instruments. This is a bass marimba here, which is probably our students, one of the favourite instruments that students use. We also have an alto marimba here. It's a little bit higher up. We use, just to get a bit of a sound from it, and we've made all the beaters ourselves. We also use our xylophones here, which is what the marimbas have been based from. And there's a range of different sizes. So if you look over here, we have our bass xylophone. And we also have some metal instruments. So this is a small glockenspiel and gives a nice ringing quality. About 3 or 4 years ago, I joined ASME, which is the Australian Society of Music Education, and it is a internationally run organisation. ISME is the international body, ASME is the national body, and TASME, which is our Tasmanian chapter. I'm now Vice Chair on that committee, where we have about 8 to 10 people on our board. With a chair, vice chair, treasurer, and we aim to run professional development workshops for music educators and educators throughout the year. And we're just about to have our annual TASME conference in Launceston on the 29th and 30th of April. So if anyone gets to see this film beforehand, please come and join us. I became involved with Nepal through some contacts that the current chair, Bill Baker, had with an academic when they were at a conference, and they said that there was some work in Nepal. They were looking for music educators to offer some musical pedagogy, so some teaching techniques for a community of teachers in Nepal. and that was about 3 years ago. And the conversation has continued to the point where I'll be going over to Nepal in April to work with disadvantaged students with the Music Art Society in Nepal. And we are going to look at, I'm taking a few of these instruments over with me to show students and teachers how the instruments are played, but also give them patterns to be able to make up the instruments. The instruments are fabulous because students do not need to have any prior musical knowledge to be able to engage. And I will be showing teachers how they can engage their students even if they don't know how to read music. The aim is that students will eventually, once they've gained some basic skills, be able to compose their own music. So it's about them realising that they can play the instruments, they develop their confidence, and once they develop their confidence and understand that there's no wrong, it's just about learning, then they can engage into writing some of their own music and hopefully bring some of their own culture and their beliefs and things that they enjoy into the music. So it's not about me telling people what to do, it's really about trying to give skills to the community about how they can say what they want to say. At this point, I've got lots of ideas, but it's very hard to consolidate any one of them until I go over there and get a feel of the community and the people and what priorities that they have in regards to education and music education. So I'm very open-minded, and I think it's very useful that I've got 6 years of experience, because I feel once I get a feeling for the community, then I will know where to pluck ideas from. Computers are a wonderful thing, so most of my resources are on my computer. So I feel that there's I've got a lot of room to move. But the aim is really not for me to go over and tell people what they so-called should know or should do. The aim for me is that people tell me what they want, and then with what skills I have, try and explore those various teaching strategies with the people. And it's such an open experience that we can adapt as well. So someone else might have another idea from a particular teaching viewpoint, and we may be able to go with that, and I will certainly encourage that. Short term is really just to get over there and to meet with the people, and then write up some of the experience, hopefully take some photos and be able to come back to Tasmania and discuss with educators the whole experience. But I would really like to link Huonville Primary School students and Geefston Primary School students, where I also work, with issues that are happening in other parts of the world, and hopefully develop some connection between the two. That would be really nice. Long term, I would certainly like to go to Nepal again. I'm hoping that this is the beginning of many trips. Again, I need to get over there for that first trip to really gauge how we can progress from there, but I'm very optimistic that there'll be a future.